Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you are watching this video lecture. Today let us discuss about Accounting Standard 4, that is contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. If we split this standard into two parts, one is contingencies, second one is events occurring after the balance sheet date, in which we are not going to discuss about contingencies much because AS4 also did not focus much on that part. Mostly Accounting Standard 4 is about events occurring after the balance sheet date, because for contingencies, which might include contingent assets and liabilities, there is a separate standard AS 29 which includes provisions and contingencies. That is why the area of contingencies is not particularly emphasized in AS4. But because the name of the standard is there, what is a contingency? Let us just understand. Contingency is a condition or a situation, the ultimate outcome of which, the outcome could be gain also, loss also, but the ultimate outcome of which will be known or determined only on the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. That is the definition of contingency, which means the condition or situation is uncertain, the condition or situation, the outcome of which is not known now, it will be only known in future, and that also will be determined only because of the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more future events which are also uncertain. That is what is contingency in general. Then, what are the events occurring after the balance sheet date? Of course, when the balance sheet is prepared on a particular date, naturally for a particular accounting period, all the transactions and events will be recorded and reported as on the date of balance sheet and for the period for which the financial statements are prepared. However, there may be certain events which might occur after the balance sheet date, and those are which significant also, which could be favorable also and unfavorable also. But when are they occurring? After the balance sheet date? Not infinitely. The events which are covered by this standard AS4 are those events which are occurring after the balance sheet date, means between balance sheet date and the date on which the financial statements are approved by the board of directors. Who will approve the financial statements in case of a company? Board of directors. So what if the organization is not a company? Then by the corresponding approving authority, whoever that may be, in case of any other entity. So the simple point is, the standard Accounting Standard 4 is only covering those events occurring after the balance sheet date but before the approval of financial statements by competent authority, whoever is that competent authority. In case of company, board of directors is that competent authority, and in case of other entity, whoever that approving authority may be, will be the signing person for those financial statements. Between these two dates, whatever events occur, those can be called as events occurring after the balance sheet date, which are covered by AS4. After the balance sheet date, so many events will occur, but not all of them are covered by AS4. What is the exact scope of AS4 has to be understood very clearly. When we say the start of the reporting period, just for example, let us say 1st of April 2019, end of the reporting period, let us say, for example, 31st March 2020, taking a year as an example. Whatever happens in that period, anyway will be reported, anyway will be recorded. There is no problem in that. AS4 is not talking about that period. AS4 has no relevance of the accounting period itself. AS4 is talking about the events that have occurred after the end of the reporting period. After the end of the reporting period, but before the financial statements are authorized by the management, which means only the period between these two dates are covered by AS4. Which two dates? End of the reporting period and the financial statements being authorized by management. Between these two dates, whatever happen, that only will be covered by AS4, which are of course called as events occurring after the balance sheet date. After that also a lot of things will happen. Things will not stop happening, they will keep on happening. But after the financials are already authorized by the management, whatever the period it may be, till the financials are made public or presented in the shareholders meeting, whatever this period, that is the period which is not covered by AS4. This is not covered by AS4. We don't have to worry about that events at all. Which are those events? Occurring between the date on which the financial statements are authorized by the management or approved by the management, and later on, whatever happens, we don't care. Maybe still those financial statements may not be made public, still those financial statements might not have been submitted to the shareholders. Even then, AS4 does not cover that period and events occurring in that period. It only covers those events occurring between the end of the financial period or reporting period and the date on which the financial statements are approved by the management. That is the scope of AS4, particularly related to events occurring after the balance sheet date. So this is the main focus of AS4. Contingency is just defined here, but the details of that will be more covered in AS29, which we can be discussing later separately. So let us focus on the second aspect of this AS4, that is events occurring after the balance sheet date. Whenever we say that, you cannot think about any date after the balance sheet date. Always we have to keep in mind, whenever we say AS4, whenever we say events occurring after the balance sheet date, we are talking about the events occurring after the balance sheet date, but before those are approved by the management, before the financial statements are approved by the management. That is the only period which is covered by AS4. This is the period that is covered by AS4. After the financial statements are already authorized by the management, that is not covered by AS4. We don't have to worry about them at all. That's it. That is the scope of it. So from now onwards, whenever we say events occurring after the balance sheet date, we have to always keep in mind we are talking about the time period between end of financial period and the date on which the financials are approved by the management. That's all. Always we have to keep that in mind. That's a very important time definition, scope definition of AS4, we can say. Now when we say events, lot of things will happen. After the balance sheet is prepared, something else happened. Somewhere in, let us say, Australia there was a fire, or somewhere in Amazon forest there was a fire. That is an event, important event, international event. So, is that what we are bothered about? Are we here for breaking news or general knowledge and international news? No. What are the events we are talking? First of all, those which are significant events, and not only those, just because of significant events, how are they impacting the financial statements? That has to be looked at. They could be either favorable or unfavorable to the organization. Then only those are the events we are talking about, not all the things that happen in the real world. So events do not mean various things which have no relevance with organizations' financial statements. We are talking about the events which are having a relevance or impact or influence on the financial statements of the organization. That is common sense. That has to be applied while identifying whether an event is covered by AS4 or not. Also, the time period has to be kept in mind all the time. Now let us define the events into two categories. AS4 classifies the events into two categories. One is called adjusting events, second one is called non-adjusting events. Okay. adjusting events, non-adjusting events, they themselves will not adjust. We have to adjust. So events themselves are not adjusting. Adjusting events means those events which have to be adjusted in the financial statements. Even though they occurred on the balance after the balance sheet preparation, still they have an impact on the financial statements on the balance sheet date. That is why they have to be adjusted in the financial statements. So they are called adjusting events. What kinds of events can be called adjusting events? Those which provide further evidence. These words are important. And by the way, since this standard is a theoretical standard, conceptual standard rather than a numerical standard, unlike other standards where there can be computations like earnings per share or leases, some numbers will be there. But AS4 is not a numerical standard. It is only a theoretical and conceptual standard, which means we have to write theory for the question. Question will be giving a lot of nonsensical data, some useful data also. But from that question, what we have to write? Some meaningful answer. Our answer cannot be nonsensical. It has to be meaningful. For that purpose, we have to use good words. We have to use exactly the same words which are used by the standard. And we have to frame the sentences and paragraphs in such a way that we ultimately prove only two things. Ultimate objective is only one. Either that will be an adjusting event or it will be a non-adjusting event. But you have to write the reason why is it an adjusting event. Also you have to write a reason why is it a non-adjusting event. For that purpose you should know very clearly what is an adjusting event. What is an adjusting event? Those which provide further evidence of what? Of the conditions that existed at the balance sheet date. Means already that condition existed at the balance sheet date, but now after the balance sheet date we only came to know more information about it. It is providing little bit more evidence about the same conditions which already existed on the balance sheet date. On the balance sheet date, while we prepared the balance sheet, we didn't know about the new thing that happened after the balance sheet date because we don't have capacity to predict the future. But the condition existed on the balance sheet date. Now, after the balance sheet date, what happened? Only some further evidence is available which proves that condition already that existed on the balance sheet date. Then such events are called as adjusting events, which means they have to be adjusted. Where they have to be adjusted? Ultimately in the financial statements, what will be there? They have to be adjusted in assets, liabilities, incomes, expenses. One of the possibilities will be there. Wherever they may be required to be adjusted, they have to be adjusted. Either assets or liabilities or income or expenditure, they have to be adjusted. How they have to be adjusted? That depends upon the type of the item or event that has actually happened, which is an adjusting event. And what is an adjusting event? That event which had a condition on the balance sheet date, but further evidence about that condition was only available after the balance sheet date. Then such event is adjusting event. For example, you take a trade receivable, debtors, that existed already on the balance sheet date, but now that trade receivable declared insolvent. That insolvency happened after the balance sheet date, but the receivable already existed on the balance sheet date. And now after the balance sheet date, because that particular debtor of ours is insolvent, he was unable to pay full amount of money, for which already we have created a provision for bad debts. But at the time of preparing the financial statements, probably we would have thought maybe some 10% provision is enough because this guy is looking doubtful. Maybe let us create a provision of 10%. We created already. According to our estimation, we thought this is little doubtful, but we created a provision for such debtor as bad debts according to our estimate. Because at the time of balance sheet, we could not predict the future. How do we know that he is going to become insolvent in future? We don't know. So at the date of balance sheet, we created a provision. But now what happened? After the balance sheet date, really he became insolvent. That means we are going to get zero from him. He is completely unable to pay any amount. Then the question comes, should we write this debtor off? Should this trade receivable be fully written off or not while preparing the balance sheet or not? Answer is yes. Why? Because the condition that this person was probably going to be insolvent already existed on the balance sheet date, though we didn't know that. Now, by him becoming insolvent, we got a further evidence of the same condition which already existed on the balance sheet date. Because of that, this becomes an adjusting event. How it has to be adjusted? As usual. Let us say already we provided 10%, that was a provision. Now write off completely 100% of that debtor. So asset will be reduced to that extent and expenditure side will be increased to that extent as a loss, bad debts loss. That will be the adjustment which has to be done. That any student who knows basic accounting will know how to adjust is not the big deal. The question here is about whether to adjust or not. Because this thing did not happen before the balance sheet date, it happened after the balance sheet date. AS4 says, even though it occurred after the balance sheet date, because it is only providing a further evidence of the conditions that already existed on the balance sheet date, such event becomes an adjusting event. That means in the preparation of balance sheet, we have to adjust the impact of that depending upon whatever the event is. Either asset or liability or income or expenditure has to be adjusted accordingly if that event is an adjusting event according to this definition. What is non-adjusting event? Naturally, opposite of that. That means which are indicative of the conditions that arose subsequent to the balance sheet date only. That means nothing was there, such condition prevailing on the balance sheet date at all. These events were only showing the conditions that arose completely subsequent to the balance sheet date. None of these conditions existed on the balance sheet date. That is called non-adjusting event. So adjusting event is that the condition of which already existed at the balance sheet date. Non-adjusting event is that there was no condition existing on the balance sheet date, it completely arose subsequent to the balance sheet date. That is the categorization. The essence of this entire AS4 is this. For us to identify adjusting event or non-adjusting event. If asked in the question how to adjust, we have to write if asked. Otherwise, our major focus in this standard will be to identify whether a particular event is an adjusting item or a non-adjusting item. That's all. Let us quickly go through what will be the consequences in each case. Of course, the same thing what we discussed is summarized here. Events occurring after the balance sheet date are classified into two categories. First category, if you look at, that is an adjusting event. And what is that adjusting event? As we just now seen, evidence of such condition being existed at the balance sheet date already. Then that becomes adjusting event. What is a non-adjusting event? The evidence of such condition never existed on the balance sheet date. That is non-adjusting event. Adjusting event means what? Adjustment is required to assets or liabilities or incomes or expenses as the case may be. Non-adjusting item does not require any adjustment. Name itself indicates. Of course, for the items which are adjusted, disclosure in the financial statements will be definitely required. For non-adjusting events, no need to disclose them in the financial statements, but a disclosure can be given in the report of the approving authority. For example, Board of Directors report is the place where a disclosure can be made about non-adjusting event. There is no adjustment done to the financial statements at all, but a disclosure could be required in the report of approving authority. That's it. This is the crux of AS4 in a nutshell. Let us just understand this more with more little bit of examples. Each of them is a separate case. You have to read them carefully and understand what is the situation. This is an example of an adjusting event. A Limited, whose accounting year ends on 31st March 2013, agreed in principle to sell a plot of land on 18th of March 2013. So, already the agreement happened in principle at a price to be determined by an independent valuer. So, price was not agreed, but the agreement to sell the plot already happened. before the balance sheet date, that is on 18th of March 2013. But the point is what? At what price that will be sold, that we don't know. On the balance sheet date also, that will be determined by some independent valuer in future. Pending the agreement for sale and due to non-receipt of valuer's report, the sale of land could not be completed up to 31st March 2013. Means the transaction did not happen till the balance sheet date. However, after the balance sheet date, the company received the report of that whoever valuer on April 7th and agreement was signed on April 10th. The financial statements for the year 12-13 were approved by the board on May 12th. So first and foremost important point we have to look at is time period. Is it falling within AS4 or not? Yes. Because the sale happened, agreement signed at a agreed value, the report of which was received on April 7th, agreement signed on April 10th, but these events occurred after the balance sheet date but before the approval of those financial statements by board happened on May 12th. So exactly, definitely it is falling within the purview of AS4, time period wise. Second checkpoint what we have to look at is it an adjusting event or not? In this case, of course, it is an adjusting event because the condition already existed on the balance sheet date. The sale already happened. Agreement to sell already happened. Only point was what amount we didn't know. At what price we have to sell. At the date of balance sheet, we don't know that. But in principle, already the company has agreed to sell that land. Which means the condition related to this event already existed on the balance sheet date, but what is this report of the independent valuer? That is only providing further evidence to the same condition that already existed on the balance sheet date. That amount we came to know after the balance sheet date. Just because of that, we cannot say we will ignore that in the balance sheet preparation. It has to be also adjusted while preparing the financial statements of the year 2012-13. That is an adjusting event. Even though it occurred technically, legally after the balance sheet date, still it is an adjusting event since the condition existed already on the balance sheet date, the further evidence of which was only available after the balance sheet date, in this particular scenario in the form of the valuer's report. That's it. That is an example of adjusting event. Then let us also look at an example of non-adjusting event. Read the cases carefully. An earthquake destroyed a major warehouse of C Limited on April 20th, after the preparation of financials on 31st March. And the financial statements for the year were approved on May 8th. Okay, it is falling within the purview of AS4, that is sure. But the destruction of warehouse is a significant event, no doubt, occurring after the balance sheet date, no doubt. But since earthquake did not exist on the balance sheet date, was there any situation that was existing on the balance sheet date for which the evidence only got to be known after the balance sheet date? No, not like that. Earthquake suddenly happened after the balance sheet date. There was no condition that existed on the balance sheet date about any earthquake. Okay, you may not say that already the earth might have had its own plates moving, that is also a condition. No, not those seismology related conditions. We don't need to get into that. We are not seismologists. Only point is the condition related to the earthquake did not exist on the balance sheet date. On the balance sheet date, we didn't know that at all. There is no condition of earthquake at all. Later, suddenly it happened. So what it will become? It will become a non-adjusting event. So, should the value of the property lost by earthquake be recognized in the financial statements of 12-13? No. They need not be recognized in 12-13. Of course, they will have to be recognized in 13-14. The question is not about that. The question is about should the already finished financial statements be adjusted or not. Answer is no, they need not be adjusted. It is a non-adjusting event. However, the report of the directors should disclose the fact of earthquake, because for non-adjusting event also, since it is a significant event, the board of directors report should contain a disclosure saying that on so and so date the earthquake has happened. Because of this, so much of loss has occurred to the company. If, for example, no estimate of loss can be made, the fact that the estimate of the loss could not be made also should be stated in the report. That's what is a non-adjusting event. Of course, there is an exception for it. That is one thing, we will come to that in this particular scenario. What is that exception? Where if there are any events indicating a going concern assumption itself inappropriate. For example, the earthquake what we are talking about here, and the loss or destruction of warehouse is such big that, if it is such big that it will even hamper the going concern of the organization, in that case it becomes an adjusting event. That is only exception. If it does not affect the going concern, though it is significant, it will be a non-adjusting event as told in the example. But if an event occurring after the balance sheet date is indicating that the fundamental accounting assumption of going concern is no longer appropriate, means the danger of that event, whatever happened after the balance sheet date, even jeopardizing the going concern itself. That means the company itself could be shut down. It may not be able to continue its operations. If that much serious condition is there, which even impacts the going concern of the organization, then such an event should be treated as adjusting event, even though there was no condition that existed on the balance sheet date, something like this earthquake example. So in that example, answer should be what, if at all we are asked with such question? Of course, if the earthquake and the loss resulting from earthquake does not hamper the going concern concept, if it does not impact the going concern assumption, then there is no need to adjust it, but a disclosure in the director's report would be sufficient. Whereas if such loss or destruction of warehouse is going to impact the going concern concept of that organization itself, if it is going to make the fundamental accounting assumption of going concern also no longer appropriate, then the same becomes an adjusting event, in spite of the fact that it has occurred after the balance sheet date, in spite of the fact that the condition related to this event did not exist on the balance sheet date. That is an exception to this particular rule of non-adjusting event. So point to be noted here is, even a non-adjusting event can become adjusting event when, if that non-adjusting event affects negatively the going concern of the organization, then it becomes adjusting event also. That is about examples of adjusting and non-adjusting events. Disclosures, what have to be done? Simple, naturally. They require the disclosure of nature of the event. The story has to be written in the report. What happened, this is all what has happened. Nature of the event has to be disclosed. And not only just the story, what is the financial impact of that event has to be estimated. What is the effect in financial terms on the financial position and performance of the organization has to be estimated, and that should be also disclosed. What if such estimate cannot be made? Then a statement has to be clearly made in the financial statements or the board of directors report saying that such estimation could not be made for whatever practical reasons. But you cannot be just silent about the event. That has to be certainly disclosed. What happened has to be disclosed. What is the financial effect of that event also has to be disclosed in the financial statements, if it is adjusting event, in the director's report, or whoever is approving the financial statements, that person's report, if it is a non-adjusting event, but disclosure is compulsory. That is one of the requirements of accounting standard 4. Then there is a special case here. What about dividends, which are declared after the balance sheet date but before the approval of financial statements? Will that become an adjusting event? No, it will not be an adjusting event. It should not be recognized as a liability at the end of the reporting period, and they should be only disclosed in the notes because no obligation existed at the end of the reporting period. There was no obligation. When the obligation suddenly came into picture, when it was declared, but when the dividend was declared after the reporting period has ended, just because it has happened between balance sheet date and the approval date, it should not become an adjusting event. So the essence of this dividend story is simply the dividend that is declared after the balance sheet date, which is a proposed dividend, is not an adjusting event. It should be just disclosed in the notes. It is not a liability as such. It is just a liability which has arisen fully after the balance sheet date, and no obligation related to this dividend existed on the balance sheet date. No company is obliged to pay dividend. We are talking about equity dividend particularly. So that is one more special point that can be noted in this AS4. As a separate question, if it is asked, this is the essence of dividend. Simple, non-adjusting event, no need to recognize liability, but it has to be disclosed in the notes to accounts. That's it. Now let us look at some of the examples for application of AS4. The essence of AS4 is done. That's what AS4 is all about. Nothing special. Only thing is, do we have the coverage of time period or not? We have to check. Is it the event occurring after the balance sheet date but before the approval of financial statements or not? Then only we have to even think about AS4. Otherwise, AS4 does not cover the periods after the financial statements are already approved by the management. That is first point to be checked in the cases that we encounter. Second point is whether that event is adjusting event or non-adjusting event. Conditions we know. When it will be an adjusting event, where the conditions already existed on the balance sheet date, but only further evidence is now available after the balance sheet date, then such event becomes adjusting event. If not, that becomes a non-adjusting event. And as the name indicates, adjusting event will have to have the assets, liabilities, incomes, expenses adjusted. Non-adjusting event need not require any such adjustment. But of course, both of them have to be disclosed, whereas adjusting events should be disclosed in the financial statements, whereas non-adjusting events can be disclosed in the board of directors report. Let us stick to company. Every time approving authority, we don't need to call. Let us call it directors report. In that, the fact that non-adjusting event has happened and the fact of what is the financial impact of that event also has to be disclosed separately. But whether an item is adjusting event or a non-adjusting event depends upon facts of the case. We cannot just take these examples as standard. We have to understand the facts of the case, whatever the case that is presented to us, and according to the facts of the case, we need to apply the concept of adjusting event or non-adjusting event, checking whether the condition related to this event already existed on the balance sheet date or not. If yes, it is adjusting. If not, it is not adjusting. We have to take a call on that. So it's a judgmental type of answer that is required. So you need to apply the facts of the case first, then apply the standard, then finally you need to conclude. What is your conclusion? What has to be done? That is how the structure of the answer should be. Once again, I am telling you, the questions in this chapter are theoretical in nature, conceptual in nature, not numerical much. Calculations will not be much required here. So the text-based answers should be structured properly. First, you should observe the facts and write them in a nutshell. Then you should apply the accounting standard 4 provisions in this particular context. Then you have to write your conclusion. So three layered approach of presentation will give a best structured answer. Naturally, that will get best marks also. In general, if presented well, full marks can be obtained from answering in a structured manner. Let us look at some of the questions and understand what could be the possible answers related to them according to AS4. First question is that a company follows April-March as its financial year. The company recognizes checks dated 31st March or before received from customers after the balance sheet date. So they received from the customers after the balance sheet date but dated before 31st March. Customers can give checks dated, let us say 1st March, but they might have given the check actually to the company in April. No problem. Still it has a 3 months validity. So date wise on the check the date is 31st March or before, but actually received by the company when after the balance sheet date, but before the approval of financial statements by debiting the checks in hand account and crediting the debtors account. So this is what they are doing. So what are they doing? Debit checks in hand account to debtors account. This is the accounting treatment they have been doing, which means what are they treating them like? They are treating them like adjusting events. Even though received the checks after the balance sheet date, because just the date of the check is 31st March or before, they are treating that as adjusting event. And they are passing this entry, checks in hand account at R2, debtors account. And checks in hand is shown in the balance sheet as an item of cash and cash equivalents. Naturally, they are showing it as cash and cash equivalents. And all checks in hand are presented to bank in the month of April and also are realized in the same month in normal course after deposit in the bank. Everything else went fine, no problem. But the point is, can the company do this? Can they do or can they treat such item as an adjusting event? That is the question. Answer is no, they cannot. Why? Because when they received the check from the customer, then only the event has actually happened. Customer will write the check whatever the date he wants. That does not mean the condition already existed on the balance sheet date. The condition what has to be existing on the balance sheet date is not the date of the check. It is the receipt of the check. Date of the check could be anything, because the check will have a validity of 3 months. Customer will say, Arre, I have written the check in February only, but I just forgot, now I am giving. He may say in April. But doesn't matter. When you received it in April, then only you came to know that there is a check. Till that time you don't even know that there is a check. So the point is, just because they are dated 31st March or before, we cannot say the condition related to the receipt of money from the customers already existed on the balance sheet date, because these monies were received after the balance sheet date. Hence, the treatment by the company is inappropriate, incorrect. They should not have adjusted the financial statements. There should not be any entry like checks in hand account at R2, debtors account. That should be reversed now. Debtors will remain debtors on 31st March, because the money actually, the check is received after 31st March. If this is the case, then people can keep on adjusting everything, backdating the checks. That should be not a correct treatment. Hence, whatever the treatment done by the company is not appropriate. We have to conclude saying this item is not an adjusting event, since the condition related to the receipt was not existing on the balance sheet date. What is the condition we have to look at is not the date of the check, that is the receipt which matters. Date of the check is not related to us. That the customer will write whatever date he wants to write on that check. So that is immaterial. Whether we received or not matters. We did not receive till 31st March. That's it. Did not receive means did not receive. That will not be accounted for that year as a receipt. It will be accounted for next year only, when it is actually received from the customers. Then only, say, bank account at R2 debtors account can be passed. In the meantime, debiting checks in hand account is inappropriate. That is the conclusion for this particular scenario. Another scenario. In X Company Limited, theft of cash 5 lakhs rupees happened by the cashier in January 2017. It happened already. It has really happened in January, but was detected in May. Right? Condition existed already, but further evidence only came to the notice of the company in May 2017. And the accounts of the company were not yet approved by the board of directors of the company. So the question is, whether the theft of cash should be adjusted in the accounts of the company for the year ended 31st March 2017 or not. Answer is yes, they should be adjusted because condition of the theft of this 5 lakhs rupees already existed on the date of balance sheet 31st March. Only we came to know later, but the condition already existed. Already he has actually done the theft in January itself. Evidence of that we didn't have by 31st March. We only got it after the balance sheet date, but before the approval of financial statements by the board of directors. Hence, it fulfills the definition of an adjusting event. So this has to be adjusted in the accounts of the company. It should be. Like what? Naturally, that is not required. The question is about whether to adjust or not. How to adjust is a simple accounting thing. How to adjust? Definitely there is a loss that has to be debited to the profit and loss account, and cash balance has to be reduced by 5 lakhs. Naturally. That will be the adjustment to be done on the accounts for the year ended 31st March 2017 itself, even though we found about this after the balance sheet date. Since it is an adjusting event, that has to be adjusted in the financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st March 2017. That is the conclusion we should write about this particular scenario or a case. Another case. Earthquake destroyed a major warehouse of ACO Limited on 20th May. The accounting year of the company ended on 31st March. The accounts were approved on 30th June, so definitely within the purview of AS4. Loss from earthquake is estimated at 30 lakhs. Whatever the loss may be, that doesn't matter. State with reasons whether the loss due to earthquake is an adjusting event or non-adjusting event, and how the fact of loss is to be disclosed by the company. Of course, first point is it will be adjusting event or non-adjusting event depending upon whether it is going to jeopardize the going concern of the company. The question said major warehouse. That's okay, but do we know whether the earthquake and the destruction of the major warehouse is going to hamper the going concern of ACO Limited? Is ACO Limited going to be shut down because of this earthquake? We don't know that. That is why we have to write both. So it could be an adjusting event also, non-adjusting event also, depending upon whether that event has impact on the going concern of ACO Limited. So we'll write both of them. If that earthquake and loss due to earthquake is having an impact on the going concern of ACO Limited, then that becomes an adjusting event. The loss has to be recognized on 31st March 2017, even though the earthquake happened after that date. However, if this 30 lakhs loss is not going to have a impact on going concern of ACO Limited, then it becomes a non-adjusting event. But in either case, since it is a significant event that occurred on after the balance sheet date, and since there is an amount of estimation also, what has to be disclosed by the company? What has to be disclosed by the company? First thing first, what event has happened? Earthquake has happened on 20th March, blah blah blah. Like that, the company will disclose it. Second, what is the financial impact of that event? In this case, 30 lakhs rupees. That has to be disclosed in the financial statements and board of directors report of the company. Even if it is non-adjusting event, for a significant item like this, if it is disclosed in notes to accounts, there is nothing wrong. Though it is non-adjusting event, it need not be disclosed directly only in the it need not be adjusted. That does not mean it should not be disclosed. It can be disclosed. What has to be disclosed is the question. One, event has to be disclosed, whatever the nature of the event. Second, what is the financial effect of that event has to be disclosed. In this case, because it is already estimated, the fact that so and so earthquake has resulted a loss of 30 lakhs rupees to the company has to be disclosed by the company. That is another scenario. Look at another scenario. A company has filed a legal suit against the debtor from whom 15 lakhs rupees is recoverable as on 31st March 2017. Why would we file a legal suit against that guy? Because already we think that this guy is not going to pay. That means we already have a feeling that this person might not pay. The condition that he might default has already existed on 31st March 2017. But the chances of recovery by way of legal suit are not good as per legal opinion given by the council in April 2017. Can the company provide for full amount of 15 lakhs rupees as provision for doubtful debts? Discuss. Yes, it can. Why? Because once again, the condition that the debtor might become doubtful and bad already existed on the balance sheet date, because already we filed a suit against that guy for recovery, which we could not get. But the condition already existed on the balance sheet date. Now, the lawyer opinion, counsel means the lawyer, legal opinion given by the lawyer, is only giving a further evidence of our doubt. Earlier already we had a doubt, that is why we filed a case, right? The condition that our debtor might become doubtful and bad already existed on balance sheet date, but the legal opinion given by the council in April 2017 only gives further evidence of the same condition which already existed on the balance sheet date. Hence, it becomes an adjusting event. So the question is, can the company provide for full amount of 15 lakhs as provision? Answer is yes, they can provide. Actually, they should provide according to S4, because this is an adjusting event. That is another scenario. But once again, the presentation to these questions, the answers has to be very crisp and straightforward, structured most importantly. First you have to write. Don't rewrite the question as facts of the case. Key facts of the case, you just write couple of them. Then write the provision which is mentioned in AS4. What was adjusting event? That you have to define first. Once you define that and the facts of the case are matching to that, then you will conclude that because of these facts matching with the definition of adjusting event, this particular item becomes an adjusting event, and hence conclusion, the company can provide and should provide for full amount of 15 lakhs rupees as provision for doubtful debts. That will be the final conclusion. So 3-layered answer is very important, particularly for theoretical and conceptual type of accounting standards like AS4, where there is no much of calculations that you can do. A lot of people are just interested in doing some calculations, pressing something on the calculator, some numbers are there, that gives some happiness for many people. But that is not the case here. You will not have anything to do calculations. Only thing is you have to apply the accounting standard that you know to the situation that is presented to you, and finally by mixing both you have to draw a conclusion. That was another scenario which was related to an adjusting event. Now look at another scenario. In preparing the financial statements of R Limited for the year ended 31st March 2017, you come across the following information. State with reasons how you would deal with this in the financial statement. What is that? Let us see. The company invested 100 lakhs rupees in April 2017 before approval of financial statements by the board of directors in the acquisition of another company doing similar business. The negotiations for which had started during the year. Now only they started. That means earlier on 31st March 2017, there was no such evidence, no such situation that existed that we are going to buy out or purchase another company, or we are going to acquire another company. We didn't know that at the time of 31st March. But in April 2017, which is after the date of balance sheet but before the approval of financial statements, because of which it falls under AS4, there was an acquisition of another company by R Limited itself. The question comes whether it is an adjusting event or not. Answer is no, it is not an adjusting event, because the condition of investment in some other company did not exist on the balance sheet date. Even if just negotiations started also, that is not called as a condition. Some finalization should happen, some agreement should have happened. Then we can say condition existed, but later further evidence is available. We cannot say that in this case, because of which this becomes a non-adjusting event. However, the same can be disclosed in the financial statements of the company R Limited, that after balance sheet of 31st March 2017, your company has invested so much money for acquiring another company. Just a note. That will be disclosure requirement only. No need of adjustment in this case. That is the conclusion. Another scenario. A limited company closed its accounting year on 30th June. 30th June. Dates have to be clear. Always observe them carefully. 30th June, not 31st March as usual. Little different. It's okay. There are so many companies which close their accounting year on whatever dates they want. This company closes on 30th June. And the accounts for that period were considered and approved by the board of directors on 20th August. So, these are the two dates. Anything that happens between these two dates is an adjusting event, or at least non-adjusting event also, according to AS4. First of all, to have a application of AS4, whether it is adjusting or non-adjusting, that comes later. That event should have occurred between these two dates. Let us see what happened. What event has occurred. The company was engaged in laying a pipeline for an oil company deep beneath the earth. While doing the boring work, on 1/9/2017, it had met a rocky surface for which it was estimated that there would be an extra cost to the tune of 80 lakhs. There is a financial impact. Unfavorable event happened, significant event happened. You are required to state with reasons how the event would be dealt with in the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2017. First and foremost point, this event has occurred after the financial statements are approved by the board of directors, because board of directors approved on 20th August. This event, whatever it is, sudden rocky surface, whatever it is, negative event, unfavorable event, that occurred after the board of directors approval has already happened. So, point is, will it even come under AS4? Answer is no. It is outside the purview of AS4. So, whatever happened after the approval of financial statements by the board of directors, this 80 lakhs rupees need not be adjusted also, need not be disclosed also. There is no need at all, because AS4 itself is not applicable. That is why you have to look at the dates very carefully. This is a classic example of such a situation. Another situation. While preparing its financial accounts for the year ended 31st March, a company made a provision for bad debts of 5% of its total trade receivables. But in the last week of February, a trade receivable for 2 lakhs rupees had suffered heavy loss due to an earthquake. When it happened? February. The loss was not covered by any insurance policy. And in April 2017, the trade receivable became bankrupt, because we did not have earthquake. Our debtor, our customer had some earthquake, because of which he already suffered loss in February, and later in April we came to know that he became bankrupt. Question is, can the company provide for full loss arising out of the insolvency of the trade receivable in the final accounts for the year ended 31st March? Can they do that? Answer is yes, they can and they should. Why? Because this is also an adjusting event. Whether the condition of his bankruptcy existed on 31st March? Yes. How do we know that? Because earthquake already happened in February, because of which he already suffered heavy losses. All these things are already there. Situation was there on 31st March. We may not know that. We came to know later. That means the evidence related to him becoming bankruptcy came to later. That means it is an adjusting event. Hence, the company should provide for entire loss, whatever it is, the 2 lakhs rupees, while preparing the financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2017. That should be the conclusion. Once again, the event, then whether it is adjusting event or non-adjusting event, why is that? Then conclusion. That is the structure of the answers that we should always prepare. Another situation. During the year 2015-16, Raj Limited was sued by a competitor for 15 lakhs rupees for infringement of a trademark. Based on the advice of the company's legal counsel, Raj Limited provided for a sum of 10 lakhs rupees in its financial statement. So the competitor has sued us, we are Raj Limited, and on the basis of company's legal counsel advice, that is lawyer's advice, we already provided for a sum of 10 lakhs rupees in the financial statements for the year ended 31st March. That means we already know that we did some mistake. Raj Limited knows that they have infringed a trademark. So they have provided for 10 lakhs. That means the condition of violation already existed on the balance sheet date. But on 18th May, the court decided in favor of the party alleging the infringement of trademark. That means our competitor. and ordered Raj Limited to pay the aggrieved party a sum of 14 lakhs. Already they provided for 10 lakhs. The question is, can they provide for 4 more lakhs also or not? Answer is once again yes, they should provide. Why? This is also an adjusting event. Since the condition already existed on the balance sheet date that we have infringed a trademark and there might be a judgment against us, because of which only we already provided for 10 lakhs. Condition already existed. Now the court judgment is what? It is only evidence, which is just confirming the condition that already existed on the balance sheet date. That is why when such an event of court judgment happened on 18th March, that too before 30th May, 18th May court judgment has come, before 30th May, where the financials are approved by the board, definitely it exactly falls within the purview of AS4 after balance sheet date, but before the financials are approved by the board, and the court judgment is only furthering a condition. It is only giving us a further evidence about a condition that already existed on the balance sheet date, which means it is an adjusting event, which means a further provision of 4 lakhs has to be made for this while preparing the balance sheet and while preparing the financial statements for the year 31st March. It is an adjusting event, is the conclusion. Then look at multiple situations. Such questions can be asked very well. 5 marks question. Very, very possible question. Actually, all of them, each of them separately can be asked also. All of them put together, one by one can be given as 5 different points also. Mostly this is quite possible to be asked like that. During whatever year, the following material events, important events took place. Let us look at them one by one. EA Limited sold a major property which was included in the balance sheet at 1 lakh rupees and for which contracts had been exchanged on 15th March. Contract already exchanged on 15th March. Sale was completed on 15th May. Of course, first point we have to keep in mind. This is coming under the purview of AS4, we have to assume that. Before the financials are approved by the board of directors, though the fact is not given, because each of them are different cases. What is required here is whether these are, how these items have to be treated in the financial statements. In other words, essence is whether they are adjusting events or non-adjusting events. First scenario, definitely it is an adjusting event. Why? Because the condition already existed on the balance sheet date, which is 31st March. That is one more assumption we have to take. And these contracts have been exchanged on the 15th March itself. Sale happened later. Contract already exchanged. So, definitely, condition existed when sale really got completed formally on 15th May. That is only furthering the condition or giving a further evidence of the condition that already existed on the balance sheet date. Hence, it becomes an adjusting event. Then second case, on 30th April, this is a different case altogether. Each company is different, A Limited, B Limited, different companies, these are all. On 30th April, a 100% subsidiary of B Limited declared a dividend of 3 lakhs rupees in respect of its own shares for the year ended 31st March 2017. Should it be adjusted? No. Dividend that is received after the balance sheet date also, dividend that is declared after the balance sheet date also cannot be adjusted in the balance sheet. Because the condition, there is no obligation for subsidiary also to pay dividend to holding company. There is nothing like that. So the condition did not exist on the balance sheet date because the declaration of dividend only happened on 30th April. That is after the balance sheet date. So it is a non-adjusting event. At the maximum, we can just show it as a note. Otherwise, there is no need to adjust the financial statements of B Limited for the year ended 31st March 2017. Then C bit. On 31st May 2017, the mail order activities of C Limited, it is a retail trading group, were shut down with a closure cost amounting to 2.5 million rupees. Shut down. Once again here, we have to observe whether this is a item which affects the going concern of C Limited or not. It is a retail trading group. We don't know whether they are doing retail trade only physically or only through mail orders like Amazon, Flipkart. That details we don't know. So what we should write? Both we should write. It will become an adjusting event if this event affects the going concern. it becomes a non-adjusting event if this becomes this is not going to impact the going concern of C Limited. Imagine if online activity or mail order activity is only 5% or 10% of the total activity of this C Limited, then there is no need to adjust that. That can be disclosed, but no need to adjust that. So depends upon whether going concern is affected or not. This third point becomes adjusting event or a non-adjusting event. Then debit. On 1st July 2017, the discovery of sand under D Limited's major civil engineering contract site causes the cost of the contract to increase by 25%, for which there would be no corresponding recovery from the customer. This is also similar to something that we already discussed earlier. Suddenly, while doing the civil engineering work, there is some sand that was discovered. This can be considered as an adjusting event. Why? Because whether we know it or not, sand already existed there only. We did not know. That does not mean sand suddenly came now. Sand was there already. But now further evidence is what we came to know, because of which there could be an additional cost that we might incur. That means we have to provide for that additional cost as a loss. Why? Because there is not going to be any corresponding recovery from the customer. Should this be provided for as a loss or not? Answer is yes, since it is an adjusting event. The discovery of sand happened now, but sand already existed there. So that case, we can call that as an adjusting event. Of course, in all cases, what is our assumption? We are thinking that the financial statements are not yet approved by the board of directors. If they are already approved by the board of directors, then this entire discussion itself is useless, because that will not come under the purview of AS4 at all. Then EBIT. A fire on 2nd April completely destroyed the manufacturing plant of E Limited. It was expected that the loss of 10 million rupees would be fully recovered by the insurance company. That means definitely there is no problem with going concern. When there is no problem with going concern, though it has happened immediately after the closure of the financial statements, it becomes a non-adjusting event, because a fire is not something that existed already on the balance sheet date. Again, you may not say as an element, fire, earth, everything existed already. Not in that sense. Fire is an accident that happened suddenly. The situation of an accident cannot exist already. That did not exist on the balance sheet date. That is why it is a non-adjusting event. That's all. These are the various cases which can be asked in the exam questions. All of them have been taken from ICAI material. Some of them were from the past examinations. These are the only similar kind of situations we can expect. But even in any other case, something else can be created also. Ultimately, what we have to keep in mind? What are the points to be kept in mind always? Always we have to keep these things in mind. First thing first, event should occur between the balance sheet date and approval by the board date. That you have to check. Second, that event should provide some additional information regarding a condition that existed already on the balance sheet date. Then only it becomes an adjusting event. If not, either it will be, if first condition is not satisfied, it is outside the purview of AS4. If these two conditions are not satisfied, then it is a non-adjusting event. If these two conditions are satisfied, it becomes an adjusting event. That's it. Ultimate essence of this entire standard is this: checking the date when the event has happened, whether that event is only now providing an additional information regarding a condition that already existed on the balance sheet date or not. Yes or no? Yes, then it is an adjusting event. No, then it is a non-adjusting event. That's all. With that, we can conclude this. Accounting standard 4, which is related to contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. Majorly, the focus of AS4 is events occurring after the balance sheet date. Fine. With that, we'll conclude this session. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.